I don't know if you've noticed lately, but Southpark has been all over the news. With the premiere of its 27th season taking shots at Paramount Plus, who just signed a $1.5 billion exclusive deal with them, and especially Trump, like, wow. Southpark is once again one of the most controversial shows in the world. How little has changed. And it's no secret that I love Southpark. I have ever since I was in middle school, and season 1 was the talk of the classroom. We've referenced them so many times over the years.
It's only 2 weeks until Lollapalooza, blah blah.
Isn't that right, Nick?
I'm sorry, I'm just trying to discipline my kitty. No, kitty, these are my craven pretzel braids. No, kitty, it's a bad kitty. No, kitty, this is my pretzel braids.
So of course, I was quick to watch the new episode, and it did not disappoint. They called out everything from Paramount's parent company CBS kowtowing to pressure and canceling Stephen Colbert, and especially Trump threatening to sue anyone who threatens his fragile ego or his tiny, well. Honestly, I debated doing my own reaction to this episode, but there's already so many videos out there. I recommend Bloom's analysis of the episode if you want to know all the behind-the-scenes info about it. I actually have long wanted to discuss a very important aspect of the show, their music. And after all, this is a music-related channel. And since Southpark is so popular right now, and a lot of people are going back and re-watching their impressive run, well, what better time than now than to talk about some of my favorite songs of theirs. If you don't know, Matt Stone and Trey Parker are both musicians, always have been.
From a pretty early age, I got into the idea of writing funny songs, and then the movie Spinal Tap came out.
I heard Tom Sawyer on the radio, and I decided right then I was going to play drums.
Matt and I, from day one, you can go back and look at all the interviews, we've always tried to say we're more like a band because it just sounds cooler.
In fact, for their 25th anniversary, they put on a huge concert at Red Rocks in Colorado, featuring Primus, Ween, and even Rush, buddy. Honestly, it's a very fun concert you can watch online, and it just reminded me of all these great, funny songs they've had over the years. I remember watching Blame Canada be performed at the Oscars by Robin Williams, of all people. And they have a Tony-winning Broadway musical called The Book of Mormon, which is still running. I saw it a number of years ago. So I'm just gonna have a little fun and run down my personal top 10 favorite Southpark songs, which was not easy to decide, let me tell you. Even the honorable mentions I had a really hard time whittling down. So I'm basically just going off of my own opinion, which ones make me laugh the hardest, which ones do I find the catchiest, and which ones really bring up the most nostalgia. And it goes without saying, viewer discretion is advised. It's Southpark. What would Brian Boitano do if he was here right now? He'd make a top 10 Southpark songs list. Yes, that's what Brian Boitano do. Getting right into it at number 10, we gotta include the Southpark theme, written and recorded by Primus. I wonder why we didn't mention that when we discussed them in the History of Rock 90s episode. So the story goes that Matt and Trey sent Primus a copy of their viral video, The Spirit of Christmas. At least viral for 1995 standards.
And we watched The Spirit of Christmas, we thought, that's f***ing amazing, that's unbelievable, that's incredible. We're gonna do it.
And it's a pretty quirky track. The original instrumental was always played over the end credits, and what always struck me was Lair Lalonde's atonal guitar parts. But Comedy Central wanted something faster for the intro, so they sped it up and had Les Claypool redo his vocal with Matt and Trey voicing their characters. In fact, Kenny's verse, which has changed a lot over the years, translates to some pretty colorful lyrics. It's one of the most famous cartoon intros of all time. They've rearranged it a couple times over the years, featuring a banjo, featuring Les's Wembola. But for me, the original that I heard back in middle school will always be the iconic theme. So I gotta say, I went through a ton of these songs. There's so many. Again, Bloom's has a really good video going through every single song they ever made. And some of these are really short. I had a ton of possibilities for number 9, but I just can't leave out Sexual Harassment Panda.
Sexual harassment panda.
I don't know what it is about this song from the season 3 episode of the same name, but all I have to do is hear the title sung with that stupid filter and it never fails to make me laugh. The story revolves around a mascot named Petey the Sexual Harassment Panda, who's come to talk to the third grade class about how sexual harassment makes him a sad panda. I mean, I saw so many of these lame school presentations growing up. The shot of the kids is very similar to how we reacted to them.
This is freaking me out, dude.
And the song is just so catchy, the lyrics are hilarious. Some might feel that this song isn't worth including because they don't take kindly to panda bears on this list.
Now calm down, JT. They ain't hurting nobody.
But I gotta include it. I will often sing that chorus completely out of context and for no reason. Sexual harassment, panda. I love it. Put It Down is a more recent song from season 21, and it's another episode that calls out Trump from his first presidency when he was relentlessly tweeting all the time. How little has changed. The song is initially performed by Tweak and Craig. This song is worth including just for Craig's voice alone. It's so funny. And it becomes a big production number. A whole choir sings. In fact, the whole town spontaneously joins in to give a PSA. If you're being a president, save a child's life by putting down your mobile device. What absolutely seals the deal for the song being on this list is when Cartman hijacks the song to rap about wanting to commit suicide. It's a whole thing during this episode. But man, Cartman's verse goes hard. I love how at the end of the song you can hear Bruce Howe, their musical supervisor, just playing all these guitar riffs because, well, that's probably what I would do if I was making a track. I love how even 20 years later, Trey was still writing some bangers. Now, obviously, Trump is not the only one Matt and Trey have gone after. There's a long list of celebrities they took down, from Barbra Streisand to Tom Cruise. But probably one of their most famous celebrity roasts is Kanye West. I remember watching the season 13 episode Fish Sticks when it first aired, just absolutely howling laughing at their portrayal of Kanye and his ridiculous ego and lack of any kind of sense of humor. This is honestly one of my favorite episodes, and at the end, when the song played, I just lost it, and it was the perfect ending to that episode. 'Cause I know that I'm a gay fish. Gay Fish is one of their most loved songs. For those who don't know the episode, Jimmy and Cartman write a joke about fish dicks. Well, Jimmy actually writes it. Cartman just kinda eats chips. And the only person in the world not to get the joke is Kanye, who just obsesses over it, until he finally accepts himself and dives into the sea to have lots of gay sex with other fish. Trey does such a good Kanye impression with that auto-tune on his voice, which apparently he had to purposely sing off-key in order to get that effect.
I had never used an auto-tune thing before like Kanye uses, and so I realized that if you can actually sing, it doesn't work. It doesn't do anything to your voice.
This song goes hard, and what's even funnier are those rap lines in between the chorus. It's alright, girl. I love this song so much that I can't even look at Kanye without thinking about it. And from his wavering responses to the episode, he still doesn't seem to get the joke, which makes it even funnier. You know you've got a classic Southpark song when even one of the most famous rappers in the world can't make a diss track that can compete with it. Now, it goes without saying, we have to include songs from their movie, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut. And yes, I got this from the library because I unfortunately don't own it on DVD. Somebody send it to me. This was the moment that I think cemented South Park's status in pop culture. The first season was such a huge hit, and then we kinda started to lose interest with season 2. So Matt and Trey fully expected the movie to be their South Park swan song and figured, well, let's just go out with a bang and make it a musical. Why not?
Came on this idea of kind of making fun of the big Disney musicals that were kind of big at that time and parodying them and using that kind of as a template. And this was when musicals were just like the kiss of death.
Paramount was cutting all the trailer and like keeping the music out of it. They wouldn't say anything about the music until it was all done. Then they were really into the music, but
they got nominated for Academy Award.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a second.
Oh, I guess that's good.
They ran into so much censorship with this movie, which ironically is the theme of the film. And at the heart of it all is the classic song, Blame Canada. Like I said, this song was actually nominated for an Oscar. In the film, they kill Kenny, you bastards, after attempting to recreate a scene from the Terrence and Phillip movie Lighting a Fart. Afterwards, all the moms, especially Kyle's mom, Shelia, sing about who's to blame.
Blame Canada!
At the time, Shelia and pretty much all the female voices were sung by the late great Mary Kay Bergman. Not only is the music so brilliantly written by Trey and Mark Shaman, with such dynamic orchestration. Seriously, this track could be heard in West Side Story or Les Miserables. But every lyric is so quotable.
They're not even a real country anyway.
And the moral is heard at the very end. We must blame them and cause a fuss before somebody thinks of blaming us. In other words, it should be the parents' responsibility to teach or discipline their children, not TV or movies or any other kind of form of art. On a sad note, shortly after the film's release, Mary Kay Bergman, who had received so much praise for her portrayal of Shelia, took her life on November 11th, 1999. This is why Robin Williams ended up performing the song at the Oscars, a most worthy replacement. And even then, the song still lost to Phil Collins.
Yeah, it's great to write a song that's like loses to a Phil Collins ballad. Like that's that's how good your song was, buddy.
I'm sure a lot of people would put Blame Canada at the #1 slot. There just happen to be 5 other songs that I personally like better. I mean, you could fill this entire list with songs from the movie, like I'm Super, Thanks for Asking, or It's Easy, Guy. But the song that outdoes Blame Canada for me is What Would Brian Boitano Do? Does anyone even remember who Brian Boitano was outside the song? Well, it's actually a callback to the spirit of Christmas, and they use it as a call of action to stop their moms from executing Terrence and Phillip. And again, it's just so catchy. I love how they make Brian Boitano into this superhero who travels through time and fights monsters. It's honestly not that far off from how kids view a lot of their favorite athletes or celebrities. And that's what I really love about the song, that it focuses on the kids and their individual arcs. And it does exactly what a musical is supposed to do, move the plot along and get you excited for the rising action. There's also a hilarious Irish punk rock version that plays over the end credits, where Trey just inexplicably begs Brian not to eat spicy chicken wings. And if you're wondering, Brian Boitano openly embraces this song. Good for him for having a sense of humor. But as great as this song is, there's one more from this film that tops it. Well,
don't say it, JT.
Well,
I'm warning you.
All right.
I'm getting pretty sick of that.
Well, yeah, you all knew this was going to be on there. It's the ultimate Cartman song. All he's doing is ripping on Kyle's mom, and it's just glorious. Especially with Kyle telling him to shut up in between lines. Interesting enough, this was heard all the way back in the season 1 episode, Mr. Hanky, the Christmas Poo. But in the movie, it's just so much grander with the orchestration, and I love how the kids all join in on the chorus. The absolute clincher is the slow, bluesy ending Cartman milks while Kyle's mom is just standing right behind him. I like how she doesn't interrupt him right away, like even she knows she's gotta let this banger play out. An absolute classic, everything we love to hate about Cartman. Number 3, Anything by Chef. Yeah, I couldn't pick just one, so I went with this decision so the entire list wouldn't just be Chef songs. And I know we all miss Chef, portrayed by the legendary Isaac Hayes, who was no stranger to hits himself.
Now people think I'm Chef every time I open my mouth.
Yeah. It's weird to think there's been more seasons without him at this point, but blame it on Scientology for stealing him away. Even so, right from the very beginning of the show's run, he was blessing us with songs about making love. The first song, I'm Gonna Make Love to You Woman, is the classic OG Chef number. Most people would probably list Chocolate Salty Balls from the episode of the same name. And for good reason. Not only is this double entendre so blatantly obvious, I mean, how many times does he say suck my balls in the song? But this song was actually released as a single, produced by Rick Rubin of all people, and it actually shot to #1 on the British charts. That's insane.
Say everybody haven't seen my balls, they're big and salty and brown.
But in fact, the 1998 Chef Aid album had a few of his songs from the show. Simultaneous, which is just so funky. No Substitute, which has that classic Isaac Hayes groove behind it. Though he has other shorter songs from the show that I love as well. I absolutely love the Prostitute song from season 4, not to mention Trey's hilarious impression of James Taylor. Though if I'm going by what song makes me laugh the hardest, it has to be When a Man Loves a Woman from the season 1 closer. Essentially, it's another song about making love, only it's a very accurate recollection of what actually happens. When he sings,
So you wait and you wait and you wait and you wait. And you wait and you wait and you wait.
I absolutely lose it, man. My wife and I quote it all the time. In fact, when I was listening to it again while writing this copy, my wife started laughing listening into it. So it's a song that brings couples together. Isaac Hayes is still sorely missed from the show, and honestly, you could put any of his songs on this list. But now we come to the top 2 songs, and believe it or not, this next song I used to cover at my own gigs. It's the ultimate rocker.
Timmy!
God damn, I love this song so much. And the episode Timmy 2000 from season 4 is peak Southpark for me. It's the one that rips Phil Collins. I've quoted it so many times in my recent videos.
Phil Collins sucks ass! Yeah!
The story revolves around a band called the Lords of the Underworld who recruit Timmy as their lead singer, and when he hits the stage with the band, it's just rock and roll perfection. That guitar line is just awesome. I also love those backups. Lords of the Underworld! Darkness fills my heart with pain! There's a single version that's even faster and has this heavy breakdown with Timmy wailing. And you can tell Trey was just having a blast making the song. I can't say it's as well written as Blame Canada or What Would Brian Boitano Do, but I have such nostalgia for the song, and it always gets me going, even outside of the episode. But now we come to the #1 Southpark song, but before I list it, let's go over a couple of honorable mentions that almost made the list.
I love cheesy proofs. You love cheesy proofs.
I'll only you.
We're gonna need a montage.
You almost make me forget all about tacos. I wanna get down on my knees and start pleasing Jesus.
Joseph Smith was called a prophet. Dum 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 dum. Crab people.
Says no Canada like French Canada.
Everyone knows it's butter.
That's me. Hey there, have you heard about my robot friend?
And make Boeing kill itself. Jacking it in San Diego.
So you die. Lawrence response lives on.
And my #1 Southpark song is...
Lads fighting love.
This is the greatest song ever written. First of all, Good Times with Weapons is among the very best episodes. The kids reimagined as anime warriors is just so much fun to watch. The whole plot of Butters getting a ninja star stuck in his eye and them dressing him up like a dog because they don't want to bring him to a hospital and get in trouble, and Cartman makes him bark like a dog. And at the heart of it all is this anime-style song sung in Japanese, which props to Trey for singing in a foreign language, fairly fluently too, with those broken English lines. Nick, you're an anime guy. Is this song accurate to how a lot of anime openings are?
Actually pretty accurate. Trey Parker himself is very into Japanese culture and is actually fluent in the language. And the song itself is also just spot on to any anime opening you've ever heard in your lifetime. My favorite part being like right in the middle where Trey Parker just shouts out, "Daijoubu, we do it all the time! Hey, hey, let's go, Kingasuru!"
Protect my balls.
But here's my favorite memory. So for those of you who don't know, my wife is Japanese. And when I first showed her this episode, when she heard Trey sing, "Subarashi chin chin no mo," she started laughing uncontrollably. Like, I can no longer listen to the song without picturing her laugh. And I asked her, well, what does that line mean? And she said, "Wonderful penis." And I could not have been happier with that translation. Aside from the lyrics being so hilariously nonsensical, it's so damn catchy, and those guitar riffs could match any classic 80s rocker. That song we did in History of Rock 1980s, Song About Fighting, I basically stole it from this. And this was one of the highlights of the 25th anniversary concert. Again, it may not technically be their most ambitious song, but it's from one of their greatest episodes. It fits the action scene so perfectly while still being hilarious on its own. It is my #1 South Park song. But what is your favorite South Park song? Comment below and let me know. Hey, please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't already. Please give it a like and a comment so I can stand out in the algorithm. Special thanks to all of my patrons and you for watching, and I'll see you all next...
Wait a minute. How could you leave out the best one?
Well, which song?
You know.
I may have to rethink this list.